So your LG washer is flashing that dreaded IE error, huh? Well, don't worry, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to walk through how to fix this step by step and have you back to doing laundry in the next few minutes.
Yeah, that thing. The flashing IE, the washer that's just stopped mid-cycle, a drum full of soggy clothes. It's super frustrating. I get it. But trust me, there's a really good chance we can get this sorted out together right now.
Seriously, the first step is just don't panic. This is actually the #1 most common error code on these machines. And the best part? Most of the time, you can absolutely fix it yourself without calling in a professional.
All right, so to beat the enemy, we've got to understand the enemy. Let's figure out what your washer is actually trying to tell you with this IE code.
Okay, IE is pretty simple. It just stands for inlet error. Think of it like a timeout. Your washer's computer is watching the clock, and it expects the tub to fill up with water in about 4 to 8 minutes. If that doesn't happen, it flashes this code and shuts things down, just to be safe.
Now this is why you should be feeling pretty good about your chances. Look at this. A whopping 40% of the time, the culprit is just clogged filters. Another 25% is just low water pressure. We're going to knock out these super common, easy fixes first.
Let's dive into our first set of checks. These are the easy wins, the things you can do in literally the next 60 seconds with zero tools required. And get this, a full 50%, half of all IE errors are solved by one of the simple things we're about to do. So listen close, your fix might be just a few seconds away.
Okay, ready? First things first, walk over to the wall behind your washer. Make sure both the hot and the cold water taps are turned on, all the way. It's important. Next, gently pull the washer away from the wall just a little bit. Are the hoses behind it bent or squished? Make sure they're straight. And finally, let's try a quick reset. Just hit the pause or cancel button twice and try to start it up again.
Okay, if that didn't do the trick, no big deal. Let's check out the next most likely cause, your home's water pressure. See, the machine needs a good, strong flow to fill up on time. But how do you test that without calling a plumber?
It's super easy. We're going to do what's called the bucket test. So turn off the water at the wall and unscrew one of the hoses from the back of the washer itself. Stick the end of that hose in a bucket and turn the water back on. If you can fill up a gallon jug in under 30 seconds, your water pressure is probably fine. If it's way slower, the issue might be with your house's plumbing, not the washer.
All right, if your water pressure checked out, we're moving on to the single biggest, most effective fix for the IE error. This is the one, folks. We might get our hands a tiny bit wet, but all you're going to need is a pair of pliers.
Now think about this for a second. We already covered the checks that fix half of all cases. This next step, cleaning the filters, solves another 30%. So if this works for you, you just solved a problem that accounts for 80% of all IE errors. The odds are totally in your favor.
So here's the game plan. First, unplug that washer. Safety first, always. Turn off the water and unscrew both hoses from the machine. Now peek inside those 2 water inlets on the washer itself. See those little mesh screens? That's our target. Use some needle nose pliers to gently grab and pull them straight out. Then, just take an old toothbrush and scrub them clean under the sink. Once they look brand new, plop them back in and screw your hoses back on.
Hey, and here's a super important pro tip. When you put those little filters back in, notice how one side is kind of indented or dished in. Make sure that dished in side is facing out toward where the hose connects. Putting it in backwards can actually cause the problem you're trying to fix.
Okay, moment of truth. Go ahead and try to run a cycle. If it's filling up with water and that error code is gone, congratulations, you did it. You just saved yourself a service call, and that's probably $150 easy. For the few of you who are still stuck, don't give up. Let's move on and check the actual parts.
Now this next part is a little more advanced, I'll admit. You're going to need a simple tool called a multimeter, but it's totally doable. We're going to play detective and see if the electronic valve that lets water into your machine is still good.
So we're going to be measuring something called ohms. It sounds technical, but don't let it throw you. Just think of it like taking a part's pulse. It's a health check to see if the wiring inside is okay. Every part has a healthy range, and that's what we're looking for.
Okay, with the washer unplugged, you'll find the water inlet valve where the hoses connect. You'll test the little electrical connectors on it. Set your multimeter to ohms. A healthy valve should give you a reading somewhere between 100 and 500 ohms. If your meter says OL, which means overload, or just reads 0, that's it. You've found the broken part. The coil inside has failed.
All right, if you've made it this far and you still haven't cracked the case, or you're just not comfortable using a multimeter, that's perfectly fine. It's time to decide what to do next. Let's break down your options. So, who should you call? This is actually pretty simple. Remember that bucket test? If you failed it and the water flow in your kitchen and bathroom sinks is also weak, the problem isn't your washer, it's your house. You need to call a plumber. But if the water pressure is great everywhere else, then the problem is definitely with the appliance, and you'll want to call an appliance repair tech.
And here's a quick look at the costs, just so you know what you're facing. All the DIY fixes we talked about today, well, they range from basically free to maybe $100 for a new part. A professional repair is probably going to land somewhere between $150 and $300. This just helps you decide if a repair is worth it compared to the price of a brand new machine.
So whether you just fixed your washer or you're just here learning, let's wrap this up with a few super simple tips to make sure you never have to see that blinking IE error ever again.
Here's your prevention plan. It's easy. First, clean those little mesh filters every 6 months, just because. Second, once a year, take a peek at your fill hoses. See any bulges or cracks? Replace them. Better yet, upgrade from the cheap rubber ones to sturdy, braided stainless steel. And finally, and this is a big one, never ever run your washer without those filters in place. They're protecting the important stuff inside.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that you can totally handle this. An incredible 90% of these IE errors are fixed just by checking the water supply and cleaning those tiny little filters. It's honestly one of the easiest repairs you can do yourself. So next time you see that code, you'll know exactly what to do. You got this.